Hey Choppers, welcome to our review of Cartographers. This review was voted on by our Patreon subscribers, so make sure you get over to our Patreon and go ahead and pledge on the tier that lets you get our polls. It's only $2 and you can join in on the polls like this one for our September review of Cartographers. Cartographers is a game for 1 to 100 players, ages 10 and up, and it plays about 30 to 45 minutes. In it, you play our cartographer that has been ordered by the Queen to go out and survey the land, and you do this by drawing different land types based on what cards come up on your map. So let's go ahead and get it to the table, take a look at Cartographers, and get to the review at the end. We've got everything set up for a game, so let's go over what the cards are, and then we'll get to the mechanics, and we'll get to the review at the end. So the A, B, C, and D cards you see up here are the edict cards. These are placeholders for the scoring cards, which are below. Now, we haven't chosen our scoring cards yet, but there are stacks of 4 for each one, and you can place them wherever you want. You don't have to have them. I have them color-coded here. You can see the green forest card is below the A edict, which has the green little badge on there. The water and the field one are below the blue one. The house one is below the red one, and then the random one is below the purple one. You don't have to have them there. I've just placed them there because I like symmetry with my stuff. We switch them up during game night. But each stack has 4 cards in it for scoring, and you go ahead and shuffle and you choose one, which we're going to do in a minute. You'll also see that these edict cards, the A and the B, are over here on these cards here. These are the seasons. As you can see, this one is spring, you have summer, fall, and winter. And we can see that spring has A, B edict on it, while summer has B, C, and so forth all the way around to winter, which has D and A. And these correspond to what we're going to be scoring. We're going to be scoring these 2 things for the spring season when we end it. We will be scoring the A and B, corresponding to what is on our cards here and what we've drawn on our map. Speaking of the map, everybody gets one of these sheets here, and these are 2-sided. The simple game is on side A, as you can see right here, and a little bit of a harder game with the shadow rift in the middle of it is on side B. So everybody gets one of these. They'll go ahead and put their name up here, whatever their title. They can draw, a little symbol for their clan or whatever, and put their clan name up there. But this is where we're going to do most of the main action. We're going to be drawing the different symbols for the game on this map. And you can see we have a certain amount of runes because there are certain cards that come up that say you have to draw on the ruined spots. Now that we also have 5 mountains on this side here, and these mountains have a little gold coin you can see on them there. This corresponds down here, so if you end up filling these spots on all 4 sides of a mountain, so like here, 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 and here, you will get to earn a gold coin and cross it off there. And that will be totaled up at the end of the season down here, as well as the edict totals here, and minus any monster points. There are ambush cards, which here we'll start off with 4 of them here. We'll shuffle them up and we'll put 1 in the main deck at the beginning of the game. And then for each season, every time we start it, we will take 1 from our stack of ambush cards and shuffle it into our main deck here. So if any get chosen or come out during the game, it'll tell you which way we pass the character sheet around the table, and the other players will draw the monsters in the appropriate shape on your map here and then pass it around to you. And at the end of the season, you will get negative points for stuff corresponding to that monster, and then you'll put your total here for the season. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up these scoring cards and pick one for each one of the edicts. So I've got our 4 scoring cards for 4 different edicts out here. So we'll go over what that means. You'll be getting a certain amount of reputation stars at the end of a season that you can score for the edict. So remember, the first season is spring, and we'll be scoring for the A and B edicts here. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the A one here. So it shows you, it's called a green bow. And it has a little display that is an example for how you're going to score. And then it tells you at the bottom here. So it says you earn 1 reputation star for each row and column with at least 1 force space. The same force space can be scored in a row and a column. And that's what they show here. For each thing that has at least one forest space, you're going to earn 1 reputation star. This has at least 1 here. But you see there's no star for this row because there's no forest space there. But and the same thing here, no forest space here, but all 3 of these will get. So if you have it like this, you'll earn 5 reputation stars. There. So as you're going along playing the game, you got to keep in mind these edicts that we have for scoring for this season. Now, also on the season card is a time counter up here, because each one of the cards we will be flipping out has a certain amount of time. And we'll keep keeping track of that, and as soon as we reach this amount of time, that will be a trigger after that card is drawn. It will trigger the end of this season, and then we will score for these edicts here. Now, like I said with the ambush cards, these are shuffled up and dealt into the main deck of cards we're going to be playing. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this right here. So whenever an ambush card comes up, it shows you which direction everybody has to pass their maps in. Like you see here, it is counterclockwise. And then we're going to have to draw this little monster symbol in a shape like this on our opponent's map. And we can flip this shape around any way we want it, as long as it is in this little like U thing. It can be like that, like it backwards. It can be a C, a U. You can have it this way, you know, as long as it's on your opponent's map. And your opponent will score negative reputation stars for each open space that it has around the outside of the monster shape. So whenever you get this drawn on your map, you are going to want to make sure that any other spaces you have, like cards that come up later on, you try to like fill that in. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle this in here, but I want to show you these cards right here. So in showing you these cards, we're going to go over the how to play of the game. So at the beginning of the turn, we're going to turn over the top card of the deck. Now, mind you, the ambush card is usually shuffled in here, but for this example, we're just going to go with the regular deck I have here. So you'll turn over the card. You'll note the time. Okay, we've got 1, so it's 1 towards our 8 time right there. I'll put these down here. And it shows you what symbol you're going to be drawing on your map, which this one is a 4. So you see it's got 3 little trees there. So you have a choice, either to draw this shape or this shape, and any orientation you want, flipped back and forth, this, that, on your map. And you have to draw this symbol in that shape on your map once you have it on there. Now, if you choose to draw this one, this has an option. You'll get to cross off one of those coins on your map also, and you'll get to add that to your score at the end of that season, and also for the coins at the end of each subsequent season, so all 4 of them. So your coin total grows larger as the game plays. So now we know this is a forced one, so we also, when we're drawing this, we want to make sure we're keeping in mind our edicts, our scoring edicts. Since this is a forced one, we're going to make sure that we want to be able to draw it so that we have at least 1 in a row and build on our other stuff so we can gain more reputation stars as the game goes along. So once you have done that, everybody's drawn that, then you'll go and flip the next card in the deck for the time. Now we see this is a Temple Runes card. Whenever you draw one of these, you immediately draw the next card, of course keeping track of the time. So now we're at 3, the 1 from there, the 2 from this one, of our 8 cards, or 8 time for this season. And you will have, this card shows you'll have a choice between 2 symbols, but you've only got 1 shape that you can draw on your map anywhere you want to, keeping in mind your scoring edicts there. But since we drew a Temple Runes card beforehand, we have to draw this shape over one of the rune spots on our map. Of course, if all your rune spots have already been taken up, you can draw it anywhere on your map. Also, subsequently, for all of these things, just like the ambush cards and these, if you have no room to draw this shape anywhere on your map, or like with the ambush card, whenever you have your opponent's map, you have no room that you can draw this shape anywhere on the map, and I've actually never had this happen in a game. You just choose a single square anywhere on the map, 1 by 1 square, and you'll draw that symbol in that square. Of course, we've never had that happen in the game, but it possibly could. So this one actually gives you a choice, and then actually it only has one shape on there that you can draw, but you have to draw it over the runes. You continue playing in this fashion until you've reached the amount of time cards that are on your season. And then once that happens, everybody will finish drawing that last card. They will go ahead and total up their score for that season on their map. The season card gets discarded. You'll proceed to the next season card. You can see this one is summer, and that they still have 8 time for this season, but the edicts are B and C that we're going to be scoring for this one. You'll take all the cards that you've drawn so far for the last season and shuffle them back into the deck, as well as an additional ambush card will be shuffled in with them. So it's possible if we didn't draw this one during the last season, we'll have 2 in our deck that we possibly could come up against. If we did come up against one last season, that card actually doesn't get shuffled in here. That one gets discarded, and then the new one from this season will go in at the beginning of the next season. So then we'll only have 1 in there, and it goes like that. That's why there's 4 possible ambush cards for the game. Once you're done playing all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter, and totaling them all up on your map, you will get a grand total that you will place in your little symbol there. And the player with the highest total wins Cartographers. So for the first claw, we really love the strategy of the game, where you have the different land types and the different shapes, and you're able to manipulate them any way you possibly can and put them on the map anywhere you want to try to score with the edicts. The second claw that we liked is that you don't need to be an artist to be able to draw and play this game. These shapes are simple enough, basically just lines or circles with lines, for trees, or just a house symbol, that you don't need to have that major artistic talent to be able to draw this on this map. I know myself, I have no artistic talent at all. My grandson Alex can actually draw stick figures better than I can, but I can play this game to be able to draw these shapes on the map. Concerning flaws, we didn't have too many flaws with this game. It's a pretty nice and simple put together game, but the only real flaw that we found is that with the limited choices for your scoring in your edict, and that you only get to pick one of those cards, and it doesn't change during the game. It gives you limited options on what you can do and how you can score each round. The edicts don't change, the scoring doesn't change, other than from season to season. And then, even when it comes back to the season, when you get the winter and you're scoring for the D edict and the A edict, it's like you already know what the A is going to be, and if you haven't really upped it any during the game, you're just going to have the same score for that A. So the edicts and scoring doesn't change was really a flaw for us. We would have liked some more versatility or changing it up. So thank you for watching our review of Cartographers by ThunderWorks Games. We want to take a minute and thank John Brieger, one of the developers of the game, for providing us with the copy of Cartographers. Go ahead and hit like on the video. Go ahead and hit that bell notification and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Happy gaming.